fight.
Oh, man.
What's up, guys? Joel VALLIE here from Media Glitch, and I am on the couch with...
Hello, I am Miranda. My
It's
third
like
will come up
you-
at some point.
oh.
It's cool. It's
I thought you
cool.
forgot your name there.
Yeah, well, I was just waiting. I was supposed to time out and be really, like, professional looking.
Right.
So anyway.
Anyway, guys, as you know, Mortal Kombat 25-year anniversary. It was an honor for me to go down, be asked to moderate the panel, and spend the weekend with these guys. One of them was Daniel Pesina, a.k.a. Johnny Cage, a.k.a. Scorpion, a.k.a. Sub-Zero, a.k.a. Reptile, you name it, okay? The guy did it.
It's kind of a big deal.
Kind of a big deal, you know? And we got to have some one-on-one time, some bro time.
Ooh.
We got some bro time, and I got to ask him a few questions. So here's that interview right now. Hey guys, Joel VALLIE from Media Glitch here, and I am here with Master Daniel Pesina. Man, thank you so much. We've been hanging out all weekend.
Oh, yeah, a lot of fun.
And it's just, it's mind-blowing, you know, because, you know, this is Johnny Cage. There is no other Johnny Cage. Say what you will, you know, it doesn't matter. I'm never going to be convinced, and neither will the world. You are Johnny Cage. You are Scorpion. You are Sub-Zero. So tell everyone who's watching all the parts that you played in Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, and let them know just kind of your involvement in that whole project.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
take your time.
Yeah. Well, naturally, thanks for having me, Joel. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Get over here. So, Master Daniel Pesina. I did Johnny Cage, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile, Smoke, and Noob Saibot.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
I did a lot.
And that process of getting that gig, how did that go?
Yeah, I got the gig because my friend John Tobias, in the earlier days, I knew John Tobias before Mortal Kombat, but in the earlier days, we used to play Dungeons and Dragons together. Him, my brother Carlos, Rich Divizio, Kano, and one of the guys who later on drew the comic book. He's an artist. Andy Kadelko. We used to go to Andy's house and play D&D, and you know how it is when you play D&D. You know, you're always ribbing each other and making fun of each other, and you're kind of, you know, and the Dungeon Master's always killing you when you take too big of a gap and don't focus on the game. But when we were making, so he had an idea for a video game. He called my mom's house, and that's how young we were. Or old we were, being geeks. So he called, and then my mom's like, "Hey, John called. You know, he wants you to call him back." So I called him back, and he was like, "Hey, I have an idea for a fighting game." He goes, "But I need some help doing it." And I was like, "Sure, you know, let's do this." And so we shot some footage, and he had some ideas for a fighting game, and he put that together, and they presented it to his boss to take a look at it. John said that we were going to do a filler game. It was a small game, but you know, us being geeks, we were just going to really geek out in this game. So, you know, yeah, from there, almost it's all history or a lot of urban legend.
Right. And yesterday we did a panel. We touched on a lot of questions. So if you want to watch that panel, there's a lot of those basic questions. But there's other things that I wanted to ask you. It's funny because tú hablas español, yo hablo español. Hiciste una entrevista en español. So what I just said is he speaks Spanish, I speak Spanish, and he did an interview once I seen in Spanish where he talked about one of the craziest experiences he ever had with a fan. So I was going to say, you should tell that in English because I don't know if that's out there on the internet in English. So you should tell that story.
Yeah. So a little with that in mind, they asked me what was kind of like a moment that stuck in my head or weirdest thing that happened that a fan did. And you know, people geek out all the time, and that's all right because I geek out over my you know heroes and stuff like that. But we were in London for Mortal Monday. First time the game was going to be ever, you know, cartridges ever put out. And so we're doing an interview in London. I think it was like end of spring, so it wasn't exactly warm out. But they had me. I was dressed as Johnny Cage, so which is basically naked, you know. And we're answering questions and signing autographs out in front of this huge store, media store, and all of a sudden I see this guy kind of approach me, and I noticed him because he was kind of weird. He had this hat, which was half like a taller hat and half shorter hat, and socks didn't cut. You know, he had like was wearing shorts, but he had long socks on, and they didn't match. And you could tell this guy was really, really strange. Yeah, when I saw, that's why I saw him. I was noticing him because it was like, you know, he was just bizarre. You know, and this is like, you know, 1991, so it's even more bizarre. You know, now with all the cosplay stuff, nothing is, you know, everything's normal.
Sure.
Yeah. So, and, you know, I took my eyes off him and then going like this. Next thing I know, as he's... Sorry about that. We're at Game On Expo. So, yeah, so I took my eyes off him. As I'm signing, all of a sudden I feel somebody grab my junk. And as he was walking by, he grabbed my package. And I kind of was just shocked, and I looked at him. And then, you know, and I made a fist, but then I was like, you know what? People are going to be people.
If that was his lifelong dream.
Yeah, I was like, dude, if this is the beginning of how things are going to be. So, you know, you can't sweat it. I wasn't hurt, but it was really funny because Liz, Sonia, saw it, and she just started busting out laughing, man. She ribbed me for like 3 days.
Oh my goodness. You know, hey, you helped a fan fulfill his dream.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I just can't, I couldn't imagine I don't know how I'd handle that situation. You handled it rather well.
Yeah.
And speaking of the UK, so you and Sonia, the first Sonia, were in, I don't know if you remember this. This is a long time ago. You guys did a UK TV show called Games Masters. Yeah. And you went face to face, head with Sonia. So that was real. That was my question. This is a nerd. This is a Joel question. This is a nerd question.
Yeah.
Did she beat you for real, or was that all pre-recorded?
No. Both of us, none of us. It was myself, Hosung, and Liz. We went to, we're going to tour London and the surrounding areas, and none of us really play the game. You know, we're in the actual martial arts, and you know, I play the game really, really little. But they're like at the first they wanted Hosung and I to play a game, but Hosung is even worse than I. So he was like, I'm not playing. You know, I know Daniel's going to win. You know, Hosung doesn't like to lose. He's like, I know Daniel's going to win, so I'm not going to do it. And Liz is like, I'll play. I'll just smash buttons and play. And so, man, she kicked my ass, man.
Oh! Just look at that! She blows it away. Brilliant play! Fantastic challenge! Fantastic stuff! Sonia wins! Let's have a big round of applause for both of our contestants!
Talk about women empowerment. She's a badass. You know, Liz helped create it. Really shout out to Liz because she created the first friendship. She didn't want to do fatality on us. Yeah, and she goes, can't we just be friends? Can't I just give him a flower and be friends? And we all started laughing, but you know, for number two, number two, we did that. And two, she was like, she came up with a kiss blow.
Okay.
So they were like, what do you want to do? And she's like, she goes, would it be appropriate to kiss him? You know, kiss him? And then I was like, oh, that'd be awesome if you draw the lips like a butterfly and it goes like this, and as soon as it hits you, you freaking blow up. And so John was like, okay, let's do that. So, nice. So shout out to her. Liz, you're awesome.
Awesome. The whole Jean-Claude Van Damme, originally as Johnny Cage, is all that really true? What's the true story behind all of that?
Yeah, actually, when we first met, it was Carlos, myself, Rich, John, and when we first met Ed, we were going through ideas for the game. You know, Ed's really shy; he didn't really say anything. And two, during filming, really quick. During filming, it took him about when we started shooting the ninjas is when Ed really busted out and kind of became, you know, friendly, out of his shell and started saying, hey, can we do this or that? He's just, you know, awesome. You know, awesome programmer, but he a little shy, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it takes all kinds of people. But we're sitting down and we're talking about characters, and we talked about, you know, Big Trouble in Little China. We wanted that. John, John really wanted Enter Dragon type thing for the game, and we all were like, we all really liked Iron Fist, the comic book. Yeah. So if you really look at it, originally that's the character. Daniel Rad is the character for Johnny Cage. So a lot of people think like, oh, it's modeled after Van Damme, and no, it's actually modeled after Daniel Rad. If you look at the costume, if you look at the old sketchings and the costumes, you'll notice that Jax is Luke Cage. With the arms, and you'll notice that Hosung in number 2 is Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. So we took a lot of characters from Sonya Blade is actually in the Iron Fist comics.
Okay.
She was a special agent in there, not that name, but there was a character like that. And if you look at the way Johnny Cage does his shadow kick, if you read the old comics, every time that Daniel Rad threw a sidekick, he had that shadow effect to him.
Yeah.
So after we got together ideas for the game, John and Ed took it to the owner of the company for final approval. And that's when the owner was like, hey, it'd be better if this fighting game had Jean-Claude Van Damme in it. And then, John called me up because guess what? They changed it. They're going to get Jean-Claude Van Damme to do the game, and you're just going to get beat up by Jean-Claude Van Damme. And Rich and I, Carlos took it all right, but Rich and I really took it like, man, we did all, we talked about this stuff, and, now we're going to give all these ideas to Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's not going to do the game right, even though I like him. It's kind of mainstream martial arts while we were like geeky martial arts.
Aren't you a little old for video games?
When that negotiation failed, the game was actually canceled. But Rich Kano kept bugging John, and eventually they went back. He was like, can't we just do the original idea? Small game, 200 cabinets. And John was finally like, yeah, let's do that. Let's I'm going to ask Ed, and if Ed approves it, we'll go back to the original idea, do our game, 200 arcade cabinets, and so.
Awesome.
When we were starting to shoot the game, they're like, "Hey, let's poke fun at Van Damme a little bit." So I think a lot of people, because they weren't like they were making the film, that just things take off in one direction. But Johnny Cage is actually Daniel Rad.
Awesome. So you put that to rest there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like it or not, it's the truth.
So now let's talk about you were in 1 and 2, and then something happened. And there's a lot of stuff there maybe that people don't know. Yeah. And I don't know how much you're allowed to say or what you're allowed to say, but I want to give you the mic and the platform to say it, And I'm sure you've done it. You've said it in other interviews and stuff. But for my audience and what happened there, what all went down.
Thanks. Going to share. For my friends out there, be careful with projects that you do and your intellectual property or just your ideas, even if they're small. Try to get them written down and get them written down on paper and come to some agreement, because sometimes even when you're working with friends, sometimes they're not in charge of the whole thing, and other people take over and kind of can cut you out of your own deal or your own project. By no means did I want to say, and by no means, John, did I create the character. I added the personalities. I created the personalities. I created the moves. Right. Tobias drew the characters, and he's like, "Oh, this is a Hollywood star." So give credit to him, and thank him for letting me be in the game, and my brother and Rich and all my other friends who I got in the game. But originally we were going to do 200 cabinets, and so when it started to take off, and again, if you talk to Rich or my brother, we always knew it was going to be like good, because we're geeks and we were like, oh man, we're going to do so much cool stuff in there that we knew what geeks liked. So we always thought it was going to be a great game. Other people were like, oh, we didn't know it was going to be a great game, but for the people who were on ground level, we knew it was going to be a big game. So after we agreed to make 200 cabinets. I used to goof around with John and Ed. I talk a lot, sorry. I goof around with John and Ed making games saying, you're going to make 201 cabinets because I'm going to get one. And they kept on saying, no, you're not going to get, you can't get a game. You know how expensive they are? This project has no money. So when it started taking off, I was like, hey, it's really taking off. And John and I are like, don't worry, we're going to take care of you. Don't worry. Just, let's work on the next project. So it was going to go to the home console. And then I was like, man, did we agree to go to home console? They were like, yeah, but don't worry. We're going to take care of you. We're going to, don't worry. These people are not jerks. They used asshole, but, these people are not assholes. They're not jerks. They're going to take care of you. So when it became apparent that they weren't actually going to give us a bonus, John and Ed both, because of, you get bonus according to exceeding expectations. So they were going to make 200 cabinets, and then they're in their contracts, if it makes 1,000 cabinets, you get X amount of money. And literally that was the biggest arcade cabinet seller besides Mortal Kombat 2 ever. Right. So, excuse me. So they made huge bonuses just because of that agreement. Right. And so later on when we asked for, hey, you said you're going to take care of us, John got cut off and told, you can't help those guys, you'll wind up out of work. So, yeah. So, that kind of crashed. So, we took him to court, but, it's Chicago. Yeah. It's Chicago, so however you imagine Chicago's corruption, you are correct. It's still the old days, people get paid off and things like that. But not naming any names, so, but if you feel guilty, if you hear it, and it offends you, you're guilty.
Oh, man.
And then we'll later arrest the BloodStorm. Everybody's like, oh, he got canned because of BloodStorm. That's the urban legend too, because one of the guys who drew the backgrounds for MK2 helped draw the backgrounds. He got a job at a different company as the lead artist. So he left Midway and the MK project and went to Strata to do a game. And he called John and Ed up and said, hey, you think, and this guy, I forget his name, but he always would watch us work. And he really was like, man, you guys are crazy. And, oh, man, he watched us create the game. He's like, man, you're really friggin', you could think like on the fly ideas, plus you're a martial artist, you're a geek, and you could kick ass. So he kind of like admired me. So he asked John, hey, do you think Pesina would, do me a favor and help me out in this game, promote this game? And so John and Ed called me up and they're like, hey, this guy he used to work remember this guy? He used to work for us and now he's got his own thing. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, he wants you to help him in the game. And I was like, help him what game? He goes, don't worry. You're just going to promote the game and we'll make sure you get paid a lot of money. And so I went to help this guy who was part of the MK family make BloodStorm, and John and Ed were the middlemen, kind of like my agents, but not officially. But yeah, they hooked me up with the gig. So everyone thinks that's the reason. Yeah, that's the reason. But at about that time, we were already asking them where our bonus was. Right. And so around that time is when I was like, no, I'm not working for them anymore. So. Unless we get paid, rightfully get paid, right. Exactly. Using my image, a few of my ideas. So, yeah.
Right on. Awesome. And so is there anything else, any other rumors, any other speculations of anything, that you would like to clear up here with this microphone?
Not offhand. There's a little, there's stuff out there. You could reach me at Master Daniel Pesina at Gmail if you have any questions, or check out my website. Naturally, I got to plug myself. MasterPesina.com. MasterPesina.com. I'm on Facebook, Master Daniel Pesina, Twitter, Master Pesina, and Instagram, Master D Pesina. There's a lot of friggin' social media now. But yeah, off a hand, I think there might be a few more, but basically that's in a nutshell. If you can imagine that, you can imagine everything that went on later on. Rich and my brother agreed to work for Midway. So, my brother now works for NetherRealm, shooting all the MKs. Right. So yeah.
Now, so I've also heard rumors about you guys you had problems because you had worked on Tattoo Assassins. Can you talk about that at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, no. Again, that around that time is when Ho Sung wanted to do video games.
Yeah.
So all those games, all these other games, Ho Sung is Liu Kang.
Okay.
Yeah, Liu Kang. Yeah, Ho Sung Liu Kang wanted to do some video games. So he was like, "Hey, help me do these games." And we were, since I really didn't work for Midway directly, you know, I mean, you know, I was like, "Sure, I could help you do that." And so, you know, we tried to work on Tattoo Assassins. There was Thea Realm Fighters. There might have been a couple other ones. Yeah.
Well, that one never made the light of day, right? The Thea Realm Fighters.
Right.
Never came out.
No, we did promotional pictures. We got in front of the camera a little bit. It was for the Jaguar system.
Yep.
Yeah, so we did a little bit, and again at that time, you know, Sony and Microsoft took over the market, you know, and they crushed the little guys.
Yeah, right on. So, man, I just want to thank you for being a part of video game history and a huge part of my childhood. Mortal Kombat, when it first came out in the arcades, I seen it. I knew there was nothing like this, and it changed my life literally forever. And my best friend and I would play that thing. One time we played it, and this is up in Michigan, okay, in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and it started to snow. And when it starts to snow in Grand Rapids, Michigan, you got to make sure, you know, if it starts snowing hard, you get home.
Yeah. You'll be snowed
And
in.
it started snowing hard, and we were at Goro. And we're like, no, we got to keep playing. We play Goro. We get, oh, there's Shang Tsung. We gotta do Shang Tsung, and it's blizzard outside. It's blizzard. We love that Mortal Kombat so much. We finished the game and walked home in a blizzard, just frozen by the time we got home, with no complaints. It was so worth it. And sadly, several years later, when Mortal Kombat 3 came out, we played them all, and Mortal Kombat 3 came out, and my best friend passed away in a fire. And that's why Mortal Kombat, like, to me, it's so much more than just a video game. It's so much more. It is a part of my life, you know. So, like, to be asked to moderate your panel, hang out with you guys this weekend, it was an honor. And it was an honor sitting down with you and meeting you, sir, and just like connecting. And I really, really appreciate your time. Is there anything else you want to say to your fans out there?
Yeah, my fans and friends. Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you for giving me this outlet. People get to know me, get to know the rest of the cast from Mortal Kombat. We're, as you know from hanging out with us, it is. It is.
Fun.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Time,
Yeah, we're always goofing around with each other. They're family, and you guys are family. And thanks for being there for me.
Any upcoming cons you're going to be at that you want to?
I'm going to be at Wizard World in Chicago. Then we have an event in Iowa, in close to Cedar Rapids. I think it's actually in Dubuque, Iowa. Dubuque Comic-Con. And then I have Combat Con, which is a Chicago-based comic. It's all MK going. Combat Con, sponsored by Galloping Ghost, biggest arcade in the whole world.
Oh, man,
Over 500 cabinets. He always brings us together. We always have a good time. That's September 23rd. Then I'll be in Chile at a couple of gaming events, including Arcade Con in Villa del Mar. Yeah, it's awesome. It's it's Chile.
Right, yeah.
That's the other side of the world. They are really South America. I do a lot of South America gigs. Yeah, and they're crazy fans. They're really
like some of the best Mortal Kombat players are from Latin America. Like,
I can believe that.
You can't even touch them.
Yeah, I believe that. I have a couple of friends who are, they're awesome. They come here and they friggin' wipe everybody out, and then they just go back home with the prize. But yeah, I'll be there, and further events, you can always look at my website, masterpesina.com, and contact me through there. These guys want to get out, come out and support these guys at every event you can, because we're all geeks together. Okay? Get over here.
Now, I don't know if you have time. Do you have the time to do me an honor? Yesterday I played Jax against Jax against Jax. You know what I mean?
Let's do it.
Is there? Would you play a game of Mortal Kombat with me today?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's go do this. Oh my goodness.
Let's fight.
Oh man. You gotta be Johnny Cage.
Oh, I'm gonna win. Yeah, because I win either way.
Now, remember when I beat you that you invented these moves. I did not. Okay? You can't punch anything.
Right?
Crazy.
He would never punch himself in the nuts.
Is that something?
I win!
Is that something?
John did it. John was like, he never hit himself in the nuts. He's letting me hit him.
Nice roundhouse. Oh! Oh! Get over here.
Oh! I win again! Solid victory!
It's tied. Let's see how this works out. Here we go.
Oh! Get out of here!
He's letting me hit him. Oh! I don't know what to do. He's Daniel Pesina. Do I beat him?
Naturally.
Do I finish him?
Yes.
Oh man, I don't remember how to do it.
Oh!
I don't remember.
But I still win! Oh man, that's good.
Oh, thank you so
Man,
much.
thank you. I beat my own ass.
Oh yeah.
You feeling proud of yourself there? A
I
little
got
bit.
to fight. I got to fight Johnny Cage
That is
against
kind of-
Johnny Cage against Johnny Cage. It was awesome.
Against Johnny Cage.
Yes. So that's it, guys. I hope you liked that. Go check out Master Daniel Pesina's webpage and his Facebook. That guy is constantly hitting cons, meeting the fans. You're not going to want to miss where he's at next. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And what else?
Ring the bell so that you get notified of these awesome interviews that Joel's been catching. So, yeah, on that note, we'll see you guys later.
See ya.